US tech founders, listen close. You built your baby in Delaware. Maybe you're rocking a US LLC, maybe a C Corp. Investors circling, product scaling. Now you're thinking India got insane tech talent. How do I enter India the right way without tax drama, FEMA headache, or investor red flags? This is CA Amritpal Singh with Maxim Consultants, and I'm breaking this down clean, simple, founder friendly. First thing first, when a US tech company enters India to build backend tech team, you got four structures on paper: private limited company, LLP branch office, or some loose contractor setup. But let me save you time. If you're serious about scaling, only one structure makes real sense: Indian private limited company. That's the move. If you are a Delaware C Corp or even a Delaware LLC, you create a 100% owned Indian private limited subsidiary. Under FEMA rules, 100% FDI in IT and software is allowed under automatic route. No RBI approval stress, no permission circus. Your US parent owns 100%. Indian company becomes separate legal entity. Limited liability, clean compliance, investor friendly. That's how serious founders build. Now, let's break this down depending on your US structure. If you are a US C Corp, life is easy. USC Corp owns Indian Private Limited. Indian company provides software development services to US parent. You sign intercompany agreement. You implement transfer pricing model, usually cost plus 10% to 20% markup. Indian entity pays Indian corporate tax, typically 22% under new regime. Profits stay mostly in US where valuation sits. IP, always owned by US parent, repeat after me. IP stays in US. Why? Because valuation happens in US, investors fund US entity. Exit happens at US level. Indian company is service arm, not IP holding company. Keep it clean. Now, if you are operating as a US LLC, this is where founders get confused. US LLCs pass through for US tax. If LLC directly owns Indian subsidiary, dividend flows to LLC and then to members. Depending on member structure, tax planning gets messy. VC funds don't like complex pass-through exposure. So if you're planning to raise institutional funding, smart move, convert to C Corp before scaling India heavily, or create US C Corp holding structure and then let that own India. Don't wait till Series A diligence to fix structure. That's expensive. Fix it before building 50 engineers. Now, let's talk about what not to do. Don't run India team purely as freelancers without structure. If you're scaling, don't hide employees under payroll vendors without control. Don't open branch office unless you love RBI approvals and higher foreign company tax rates. Branch office is old school structure, high compliance, limited flexibility. Private limited subsidiary is modern founder structure. Now, compliance checklist. Pay attention. When US company invests in Indian subsidiary, you must file FEMA reporting, FCGPR. You must issue shares properly. You must maintain transfer pricing documentation. You must do annual ROC filings. You must deduct TDS on salaries and vendors. GST registration if applicable. India compliance is not optional, penalties are real, and during acquisition, buyers check everything. Strategic tax tip: keep Indian company as cost center. It earns service income from US parent. It doesn't accumulate massive profits unless strategic. Use cost plus model. Maintain arm's length pricing. This keeps Indian tax department calm and US investors confident. Now, let's talk about IP and contracts. Every Indian employee contract must clearly assign IP to Indian company. Then Indian company must assign IP to US parent through agreement. Chain must be clean. If IP stuck in India accidentally, you create cross-border transfer complications later. That's expensive to unwind. Build structure right from day one. So, final blueprint for serious US tech founders: US parent, preferably C Corp, 100% ownership, Indian Private Limited as tax service arm, clear intercompany agreement, transfer pricing policy, IP owned by US parent, full FEMA and tax compliance. That's how you build global team the professional way. This is CA Amritpal Singh from Maxim Consultants. We help US tech founders enter India without tax leaks, without FEMA violations, without investor red flags. You focus on product, we structure the backend, build clean, scale global, exit big,